Welcome to another week of NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk. I'm Greg Thompson, and after 14 rounds of the competition, 3 teams sit on top of the ladder on 36 competition points. The Swans, Queanbeyan and Eastlake, who had a very big win against Sydney Uni. So let's take a look at all the action with Around the Grounds. Tuggeranong had a handy half-time lead in a cross-conference clash with Morningside up in Queensland, but it fell away in the second half with the home side racing away 22-15, 147, 15-12, 102. Ainslie travelled to Bruce Purser in Sydney to go head-to-head with the Sydney Hills Eagles, and the home side kicked away to a 12-point lead at quarter time, but from then it was all the tricolours. Nick Payne and Ken McGregor booted 6 goals each. Simon Horner booted 2 along with Jed Costigan. Jamie Vladko was great for the home side with 4 goals, but the Eagles fell short. 10-13, 73. Ainslie 20-11, 131. A 6-goal haul by Hayden Armstrong and 5 by Aaron Bruce up forward secured a strong win by Eastlake over Sydney Uni at Manuka Oval. Their premiership credentials firming with a 19-27, 141 to 4-1-25 victory. The Battle of Sydney was a one-way street for the Sydney Swans and UWS Giants, with the Red V going gangbusters right from the word go. Alex Brown, Trent Dennis Lane and Nathan Gordon led the way, troubling the goal scorers, while the Giants, they couldn't manage a player to kick more than one. The Swans on top of the table, 18-21, 129, the Giants 6-6, 42. And Queanbeyan had to fight hard at Dairy Farmers Park to become joint ladder leaders on the Eastern Conference. Ben Klemke returned with 2 goals up forward, along with Jared Atkinson, Kane Stevens and Sam Jensen. While for Belconnen, it was all about Shane Harris and Jordan Harper. They booted 5 between them in the 12-11-83 to 9-8-62 defeat against the hands of the Tigers. Yeah, some very big results there and around the grounds, and one man who was a part of the Eastlake Footy Club's demolition of Sydney Uni at Manuka Oval, as we saw, joins us this week as our special co-host from the Eastlake Footy Club, Aaron Wiles. Welcome, mate. I know you're a big fan of this show. Now you're on it.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
Tell us about everything at Eastlake, mate. Things are going along very nicely. As we said at the top of the show, first place in the ladder, 36 points with 2 other teams. You've got to be happy where you're at now. Yeah,
mate, things are moving along pretty nicely for us down at Manuka, I guess. We've set ourselves up at the moment to have a real go at the final series, and that's what we plan on doing.
8 weeks to go in the regular season. Can you believe that? I mean, we are thinking about finals, talking about it soon. Not too premature, though. It's going to be here before you know it, mate.
Oh, the season just moves so quickly. You know, we don't know where the time's gone. So yeah, we're definitely looking for the next month to come around even quicker.
And you're improving by the week. Is that fair to say over at Eastlake, going along brilliantly?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We've definitely improved on where we were sort of, you know, February, March, so things are moving along okay.
Tell us about your journey, mate, in the NEAFL. Obviously, you're from South Australia. That was mentioned in the call with Matthew Loken at the weekend. A very nice part of Adelaide you're from, don't worry about that. Tell us about your journey, mate. How'd you end up here at the east coast of the country?
Mate, I had a connection with the coach of Eastlake Football Club from last season and the season before. Was Daniel Archer, who now is with the NT Thunder. His cousin was one of my previous coaches at a football club, the Portland Football Club in Adelaide. There's a bit of a plug for him there.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew Thornton. So that's how the connection came with Eastlake, and yeah, he got me over here. Now I've got a few more of us over here.
A small world. Incidentally, yeah, as you mentioned, you've got some teammates not only at Eastlake who have come across from Adelaide, but also rival clubs as well. I mean, you have brought along a lot of talent as well, we might add.
Yeah, definitely the guys that have come over have certainly had their own and had an influence in each in their own way, I guess. So,
give us a few names. Rick Stoyanoff's one of them. What a star player he is.
I think
Stroganoff,
yeah,
pardon me.
Stroganoff. We've got Sammy Jocks Marling's over with us, and a guy whose name was Josh Moody, but Mood Dog apparently, according to himself.
He's had its name change.
Yeah, but name change. So not by default, just around the traps. But yeah, Shane Harris and Matthew Loken are up at the
Belconnen boys.
So there's a few ex-Port Magpies players floating around the competition, I guess. Yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant. Well, very nice to have you on the program. We are going to talk the next couple of weeks. Big game this weekend, of course, against Belconnen, against some of your boys. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk caught up with the Belconnen skipper, John Love, to get his thoughts about the clash with Eastlake.
From our point of view, we've just got to counteract their run. They're a fairly fast team, they're skillful. and they're really good at switching the footy and running out of the back line. So that's going to be our focus, and we think we can really match them. So we're looking forward to it.
John Love, the skipper from Belconnen there. Should be a very big game. Aaron, do stay with us if you want.
Mate, I'll be here.
All right, we'll take a break. More on NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk right after this.
Since I was a kid, I dreamt of playing footy at the top level.
I remember the rush
of taking the field for the first time.
And now I love it more than ever.
But all it takes is for one person
to ruin it for everyone.
So don't discriminate against anyone
because of their race,
gender or background.
Because everyone deserves a fair go.
Keep your sport inclusive,
safe and fair. Go to playbytherules.net.au.
Discrimination, it's simply not a part of any sport.
Welcome back to NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk. Greg Thompson, and this week we are joined by Aaron Wiles from the Eastlake Footy Club, and we'll take a look at the UWS Giants now. Obviously, they're in the finals last year. They're outside the top 5 at the moment. Aaron, things are a bit different compared to last year. You played them earlier in the season. What did you make of them? And their depth is causing a few problems this year, of course, with the GWS Giants in the AFL.
Yeah, definitely. They're obviously a lot different side to they were last year. I mean, they had Israel running around last year, and they've obviously lost a lot of players into the AFL this year through that, and even again now with Patton coming through and then going into the AFL, they're really using a lot of talented youngsters from around New South Wales and ACT region, and we've had a few from Eastlake go and play for them, so it's all about development for them now, I think.
And a good opportunity as well for those NEAFL players, to play for the Giants. And NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk caught up with the Giants' Gary Buchanan to get his thoughts about where the Giants are at the minute.
We've had a lot of top-up players, in excess of 40, I think. And the last couple of weeks we've had 40 different players, and the last couple of weeks we've had sort of 9 and 10. So that has an impact on the actual results on the scoreboard, obviously. But as far as a development tool for the players and the club, I think the club are really quite happy where they're at with it.
Gary Buchanan from the Giants there. We will take a break. On the other side of it, a comprehensive look at round 15 this weekend. Do stay with us.
Get behind your team. For match details, head to neafl.com.au.
Well, round 15 of the North East Australian Football League Eastern Conference looks a little something like this. Starting off Saturday, 12 midday, Sydney Uni and Broadbeach at number 1 Oval in a cross-conference clash. Saturday, 1 p.m, the Swans going head-to-head with the Brisbane Lions at the Sydney Cricket Ground in another cross-conference game. The final game on Saturday, which is our stream game of the round on neafl.com.au, that is 2 p.m, Manuka Oval, Eastlake Footy Club going head-to-head with Belconnen. Aaron, that is your cue. How are you going to contain the Belconnen Magpies?
They've obviously got some good young players that like to take the game on, and they've obviously got their good old players in terms of Matthew Loken, George Costanza. That's the same person, really.
They're a bit old.
They're pretty old, yeah. He's really old, Matthew. But also, we'd like to think if we contain the little garden gnome up forward, Shane Harris, then we'll definitely go a long way to winning the game on Saturday.
There is going to be so much sledging out there with your old mates.
I would have thought. Well, Harris has seemed to cement himself in the goal square, which, like he cements himself in the front yards of people's houses, I guess. So we'll definitely have someone floating back to try and contain him. But it should be a cracking game. They took it up to Queanbeyan last week, so we're definitely not taking him lightly by any sense.
How did Matthew get the George nickname?
Because he really looks like him. He looks like George Costanza. So that's basically how it come about. And he's got a few other nicknames, Gargamel, but we won't go into all of them. But yeah.
Incidentally, I've never seen a garden gnome with dreadlocks, I might add.
No, it would probably scare people away from front yards, wouldn't it? But no, they're good friends, and I'm sure they don't mind a bit of banter between us. So
maybe we should mic you up this weekend. Hear some of the sledges, perhaps.
Oh, probably not myself. I don't get into too much.
Might have to beep it out, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or out of
I probably wouldn't put it on Lokes. Probably better off with myself. You might be a few less profanities, I would have thought.
Could be live on the internet too. Gold Coast at the UWS Giants at Metricon Stadium. That'll be off the chart. And 12 p.m. Sunday, the 8th of July, the Sydney Hills Eagles going head-to-head with Tuggeranong, and Queanbeyan and Ainsley have the bye. Belconnen Magpies are going to give you an absolute hammering this weekend, physically, I would have thought. Don't worry about the scoreboard after your comments, mate. It's going to be on. How are you feeling now, mate?
Nah, mate, I'm fine. I think we're big enough and ugly enough to be able to cop a bit, so we'll be right, mate.
Incidentally, before we go, you got a lot of lip from Matthew Loken in the commentary box. Great to have him on board at Manuka Oval for Eastlake and Sydney Uni last week. Did a fantastic job, Big Lokes. But gee, he was giving it to you and Rick Stroganoff, and the list goes on, the big fella.
Yeah, mate, we watched the replay of the stream on Sunday and we had a good laugh about it. It was very humorous. I would have been disappointed if you didn't give me a bit of stick, to be honest. So, no, it's all in good fun, mate.
All in good fun. Well said. Well, NEAFL.com.au is the website for this wonderful competition. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook. Aaron, thank you for joining us this week.
My pleasure, mate. Good to be a part of the show.
Thank you so much. But before we go, obviously one of your teammates in Dan Ryle went down with a bit of a sickening knee injury at the weekend against Sydney Uni. No doubt you want to pass on some very kind words to him.
Yes, he did. Our thoughts are with Dan and his family at this stage. We know the big fella's in a bit of strife. He was stretchered off on the weekend. So, yeah, we'd just like to send our thoughts out to them and hope all is well.
Okay, that was very sincere. Aaron Wiles, thanks so much for your company. We'll see you next week on NEAFL Eastern Footy Talk, and this weekend, Saturday 2 p.m, neafl.com.au. For Eastlake and Belconnen, I'm Greg Thompson. Bye for now.